Well, I would like to issue a wonderful sissy welcome to all of you out there in electronic land who have joined us, sissies here, for another stirring installment of the Disinformed podcast. There, did I get enough? Was I on Elon Musk's last nerve sufficiently enough for this discussion?
As the cisgender formerly known as Robert Greer, I can appreciate and endorse this message.
Yes, indeed. I'm super sissy.
I'm so out of the loop. Okay, so Elon has banned cis.
Yes, cis and sissies are not allowed on Twitter. They're permanently banned. You cannot be a cisgender.
Gotta delete my account now.
Happy Pride Month.
Have to find mine to delete it. So all right, so Elon is transitioning Twitter from pro-cis to anti-cis now?
Apparently so. Well, yeah, I would say pro-cis, anti-cis. You're not allowed to be a cis there anymore. No cisses.
This
Sissies.
throws a lot of familial connections into an uproar because, we're not allowed to have sisters anymore? What's going on?
Yep, not on Twitter.
Okay.
You cannot acknowledge any existence of cis, sisters, any of those.
Well, it's good. You shouldn't be tweeting your sister late at night anyways.
Yeah, what is this, Alabama?
That's
What
right.
is this,
Roll
Pornhub?
Tide. Oh, step-sis.
What are you doing on my Twitter step, bro?
Stuck in the... I almost said refrigerator. That's
Tweet
not
me, baby.
porn.
Tweet me.
You're stuck in the dishwasher?
I'm going to give you all 140 characters.
Oh, no, you can go up to, I think it's 5 or 50,000 if you have the Twitter Blue
Give me the blue
subscription.
check mark, yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
See, this
Give me that check mark, daddy.
So when did Twitter stop being 140 characters?
Like,
Oh, man, I'm
years
so
ago.
out of the loop.
Apparently 1982, according
So
to
out of the
the
loop.
last time I was told.
1984, thank you.
Oh,
Free
1984.
speech absolutism.
They posted a sign outside of the Dollar General in Youngstown, Ohio, so that you could notice
right.
it. But everyone was involved in a meat fight there, much like they are on Twitter. And so no one noticed that they had actually upped the characters at that point.
Very true. They got away with it.
I got to start paying more attention to the news. I had no idea about Twitter and the cis thing. I didn't know about the stupid submarine with the billionaire going down until I saw memes floating around about it.
I like that you say you need to pay more attention to the news, and you're over here going like, well, fucking Tina Turner died. Oh, two seconds before, Iron Sheik died. Like, you're on it when people are dead, so maybe we need to talk about your basement for another few minutes here.
That's right. Well, did you hear the latest, apparently, Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On, I guess, is part of the...
That's been dead for years.
No, but it's part of the track that's in the submarine for the Titanic thing. And I guess the system is going down, so it's stuck on loop for 30 seconds or something like that. So these people are going to die of lack of oxygen while listening to the first 30 seconds of Celine Dion's My Heart Will Go On loop.
All you need to do is just tell them not to let go.
That is a special kind of hell.
Well, that's even assuming that they're still alive. And my favorite gif of this whole situation is 13 from Stranger Things when she originally crushes the Coca-Cola can.
11. Thank
11.
you.
Why did I say
13?
13? I was having a conversation the other day with about House.
Just
and I was
random
thinking
numbers.
Of 13.
12. 17.
42.
It was semi-grounded in reality.
I
Okay,
don't
another character
wanna
named
see-
13 from the show House. Okay, so it wasn't completely out of left field.
I do not want to see the Stranger Things episode where 69 is introduced.
Oh no,
I'm 69.
not like my Japanese animes.
Jesse Ventura. Well, why don't you tell me why I can telekinetically throw people across the room, Monsoon? I'm down here in the Baja.
So, I wanted to say this pre-roll, but I'm going to have you be a little bit more disappointed in me, Shane, just a little bit more.
Yes.
I was in trivia. I was doing a trivia night, and one of the questions was about the Iron Sheik, or Shake, or however you pronounce it.
Sheik?
Yes.
The Iron Shake is something
The
that
Iron
you
Shake.
get at Shake Shack at 4 in the morning when you really need to purge something out of your stomach.
That's fair. And so the question that I had been asked essentially dealt with one of his catchphrases, the one that started with a J, and I had no idea what they were talking about.
The one that The Rock stole?
I mean, it's common parlance in professional wrestling. It's not like either of them own a trademark on it, but...
I mean, that's fair.
It's a jabroni.
But yeah, according to The Rock's own take on it, apparently it did originate with Iron Sheik, and he did it originally as an homage to...
Yeah, but I believe Dwayne Johnson about as far as I can throw him, and since he's made out of fucking 12 tons of granite, I don't think that would be very far. He hasn't bought me a house yet. At that point, I may believe him a little more.
That man used
Also
to play
true.
for the Calgary Stampeders, the CFL, all right? So
He did.
I'm
He
all
did.
about trusting Dwayne.
Yes.
I did not know that.
And did you know The Rock's most famous catchphrase, by the way? By the eternal behold.
Beholds.
It's the Disinformed podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Michael.
And I'm Michael.
You guys are starting
I
to kill me.
almost chimed in when you said, I'm Shane. It doesn't matter what your name
Yes,
is.
and that's when I would have officially logged off this call.
Oh, no.
So that would have been the time. I'm not Chris Jericho. I'm not just going to stand here like a bitch and quiver lip and deal with that. So, all right. So you were saying you did not know jabroni was a catchphrase for the Iron Sheik.
It wasn't until the answer was revealed that I was like, oh, he was the one that kind of coined that. So I was like, I know Shane would have known it immediately.
You know what the funny thing is about it is, like, it happens so infrequently. It's not like, if you asked me to say what the Iron Sheik's catchphrase is, it would have been Iran #1, USA, Hakpatui. Like that, I would have gone with. I've heard him say that. Jabroni was just a common, term that he would employ frequently, but.
Yeah, unless you
so
gave me the
I wouldn't
heads
blame
up
you.
of, like, it started with a J, I wouldn't have gotten there either.
Oh,
You and the heads again.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
No hand job.
Just moving them hands, limp hands.
Sheik did a hand job or two over the course of his time frame, but that's just
As
Well, he
is
looked like he was
custom.
giving hand jobs with those two clubs that he
yeah. How do you think he
double
practiced?
fisting. Yeah.
Wielding them like a belly dancer.
It's an Iranian disco dancer. Yes.
Ooh.
All right. Well, what a wonderful way to start the day. But it's okay. Now you just have to name at least 2 to 3 of Jesse Ventura's catchphrases after I've used them.
Hurricane.
Something about the Bahamas.
The Baja. The
You mean the Baja.
Bahamas.
Come on, Monsoon.
With my 7 pigs in the Baja.
I ain't got time to bleed. Well, welcome to episode 201. This is what you stuck around for all of these many, many years. You've just been listening to us heckle and jekyll and jive in order to get us to this ridiculous bit of stupendous nonsense. But for those of you who are blissfully uninitiated with the show, what we usually do here is we like to discuss random esoteric topics, and in the course of explaining them to one another and you, we lie a little bit. That's part of the shtick. The point of the show is that the co-hosts then try to ferret out the fact from fiction as we listen. We are hyper-engaged and never slappy. It always works out well for all involved parties, I guarantee it, even when people are constantly clicking on and off their mute button.
I was wondering if you'd hear that or not. I was
I
really trying to
always
press it
hear it.
soft.
I always hear it,
He
Doc.
hears
It's-
everything.
Didn't want to cough in your ear, all right?
I'm a Navy
Oh,
SEAL.
please.
I hear everything. You clicked that thing off, I knew 2 seconds before you were going to do it just because your body movement. I'm an expert in physical presentation. You got to understand something. I was the governor of Minnesota.
So, honestly, your impersonation of him, spot on, because I watched a couple videos of his this week, and I was like, damn, Shane, on fire.
I'm really trying to refine it. I feel like it's, if Will Sasso has gotten enough of a career just by whipping that out from time to time, like I'm going to emulate. I'll chase it. But so, of course, to finish off, we do not allow you to leave disinformed because there's a denouement. At the end of the episode, we explained what was lied about and why, so we can all get the full download by the time we get finished, and we can know as much as Jesse Ventura thinks he does. Christ. I'm just going to yawn through your entire presentation, just so you know, just for that. Just across the board. I can't even
Don't
get through
talk
the
about
fucking
yawning.
intro. Hitting the mute button, squiggle wiggle the chair. It's like I already got one person on this call with ADD. I do not need to fucking start extenuating my circumstances any further. Exponential increase of my rage.
The rage.
I ain't got time to do math.
Oh,
I got to breed pigs in the Baja.
Here's the thing. I told everybody we were going to unionize the wrestlers back in 1982. And unfortunately, Hulk Hogan's the one who backstabbed me, and I wasn't able to unionize. But, it's unfortunate that Hulk Hogan's so much of a cis white cuck. He just wouldn't allow us to unionize, and that goddamn McMahon looks like his wife was on Trump's support team there when he was the president. And you tell me how that happens, because I strange, call that a bit of a conspiracy myself. I think that Trump and McMahon, they both got dropped down from a ship in New Mexico in 1984. Never saw him before then. I'm in the Baja.
I was waiting for it.
I've been off grid for 47 years. I raised 18 pit bulls and 47 boars. It's what I do down here.
All right.
You asked for this. You opened up. You yawned when I was talking.
No, but it's an audio podcast, right? No one would have been aware of the yawn.
They would have heard it. Yeah, they would have heard the yawn. Michael would have kept that in.
It would have taken the whole, it would have blasted everyone's ears. They would have been bleeding.
And this is why I hit the mute button.
Yeah, because then we hear the mute button. I'm not kidding. I'm doing this the rest of the episode.
Oh, no.
I just assumed you were doing it at the bookstore and in your daily life. You're cooking dinner.
It's going to be 4742. I wouldn't read this book, though, because it's full of lies the government's trying to put on you.
Get this one, though. It's the tourist guide to the Bajas.
No, it's written by me, Governor Jesse Ventura. It's called How to Navigate a Monsoon.
All right, well, how to navigate us away from this.
Fuck you.
All right, Jesse.
It doesn't matter what your topic is.
It really doesn't anymore. All right, well, yes, all right. So I am presenting tonight mute buttons, yawns, the whole 9 yards. Squeaky chair and everything. See, I didn't even hear that.
See, I can hit the button.
But I wouldn't know. All right, tonight there are 4 lies. And I believe tonight is part 1 of 3. So just prepare yourself. But tonight there's 4 lies.
Strap in and strap on.
Yes. Strap in. Because there are some figures whose place in the story of the American past is so central that school children cannot help but know them. George Washington, or Abraham Lincoln, or Rosa Parks. But there is also a group of people who have not passed into national legend, and perhaps whose lives are not considered fit to explain to children. They are most likely to be encountered, if they are encountered at all, in the institutions that often engage the attention of young people between the ages of 18 and 22.
It's all a conspiracy created by the government.
The Canadians are an institution?
Yes, I believe so. They were a myth perpetrated.
I wouldn't know that. We don't have any universities.
No, Jesse would know this one here. The institutions that usually engage young people are universities or the
Unless
military.
It's Pig University, and I got 7 boars enrolled right now. Oh, yeah, and making bacon.
So, then you got yourself a PhD in pigotology.
Packed.
Making bacon.
Is the body rubbing off?
So among those people who have not passed
talk
into national legend, there's probably only passed. That's right. There is probably only a single person who will be discovered almost exclusively by 2 generally non-overlapping groups. Avid readers of the corpus of Noam Chomsky, and members of the Marine Corps. That man, standing lonely astride the lens-shaped center of a peculiar Venn diagram, has the unlikely name of Smedley Darlington Butler.
Color me intrigued and
you were trying to keep me engaged in the episode, right?
the sound of disgust from Shane.
Okay, well, all right. So Michael's going to carry the rest of this. I'm going to log off, and he can do the outro.
I guess he was. I wasn't really.
I'll talk about the conspiracies of Smedley all the way. Smedley and Schmuckers, those were the two people that were battling over the game of making jam back in 1942. Yep, boysenberry, that's my favorite. I used to have all over my balls down here. That's the pigs.
They definitely got themselves into a jam, yeah.
With a name like Smedley, it's got to be shit.
See, Smedley, actually, I think he mostly used it with oatmeal.
Bad pun.
And I say oatmeal because Smedley's name reflects Butler's Pennsylvania Quaker heritage. His father, Thomas Butler, was a congressman. So his father, Thomas Butler, was a congressman.
Oh, yeah. Was that bullshit?
We've established, yes.
Butler? Oh, okay.
Nope, that's true. His name reflects his Pennsylvania Quaker heritage.
Okay.
And his name is Smedley Darlington Butler. So, yes, his father was a congressman in the seat once held by his wife's father, Smedley Darlington. So that's where he gets his name from, right? His dad's last name is Butler. His wife's dad's name, Smedley Darlington. So both were prominent families.
Wait, so he took his wife's last name as his middle name?
No, his wife's... So, no, his father was Thomas Butler.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And his wife's father, and his wife's father was Smedley Darlington.
Desk for emphasis.
So he took his wife's... he took his mother's father's, he took his grandfather's first and middle name, and then his dad's last name.
God.
Stop the damn match.
I'm my own grandpa.
Okay, so his grandfather
I'm
on
my
his
own grandpa.
mother's side, Darlington, father, Butler, everything is okay. We're good.
We're good.
Right. All right.
Right. So,
the same Senate seat.
Both on his father and his mother's side were prominent families, but the young Butler would not pursue a career in politics. Smedley was 16 years old when the Spanish-American War broke out. The United States promised it was entering the fight to free the remaining Spanish overseas colonies from tyranny. In spite of the Quaker tradition of pacifism, Butler believed in the mission. Quote, "I clenched my fists when I thought of those poor Cuban devils being starved and murdered by the beastly Spanish tyrants," he wrote later. When he read of the explosion of the USS Maine in the Havana harbor in 1898, which the yellow journalism of the era painted as a Spanish attack, he decided to enlist in the Marines. His military career would take him from Cuba to China to Central America, where he became a legend in the Marine Corps, representing martial valor and virtue. Famous in his day... Sorry, go ahead.
Were the Marines... Did they exist back then?
They did.
The Marines? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My apologies then.
No worries. Famous in his day, the subject of fiction and film, he retired with 2 Medal of Honors, achieving the distinction shared with only one other, of being the only Marines to receive the Medal of Honor twice for separate actions. He also received a greater number of nicknames: Old Gimlet Eye, Leatherneck's Friend, the Fighting Quaker, to name but a few.
Old
that testified.
Gimlet Eye?
Yeah, Old Gimlet Eye. You don't know the story of Old Gimlet Eye? Like, it's
Yeah, so he got the nickname Old Gimlet Eye in 1903 in Honduras. The nickname was given to him by his fellow Marines as a nod to his fierce battle stare, which was also associated with these feverish, bloodshot eyes that he had as a result of having a tropic fever. So, yeah, Old Gimlet Eye.
It's hard to swallow.
Yeah, I'm going to call bullshit on it.
Nope, all true. In fact, I just gave you the background. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fundamental mistake number 1, whenever someone gives, a little bit more context, you still have to ask, because then otherwise at the end, I will say like, oh, I should have asked instead of just letting you go on about it.
Who would do that? Who would do that?
I have no idea, but you know what? I'm covering my bases, so there you go. There you go.
So, in the country Smedley helped occupy, a different memory of Smedley Butler lingers. In Haiti, He was simply known as the Devil. In Nicaragua, mothers used to quiet their children with the claim, "Hush, Major Butler will get you." Butler's time in the Marines coincided with its transformation from a Navy auxiliary to having its own identity and purpose as a colonial infantry. This might be enough to explain why Butler would make an appearance in the anti-imperialist writings of Noam Chomsky, but it isn't the reason. In retirement in the 1930s, Butler had a second successful career as a public speaker. He told stories of his military service, and he did so from a remarkably critical, even confessional point of view. Writing in the socialist magazine Common Sense in 1935, he put it this way, quote, "I spent 33 years and 4 months in active service as a member of our country's most agile military force, the Marine Corps. And during that period, I spent most of my time being a high-class muscleman for big business, for Wall Street, and for the bankers. In short, I was a racketeer, a gangster for capitalism. I helped make Mexico and especially Tampico safe for American oil interests in 1914. I helped make Haiti and Cuba a decent place for National City Bank boys to collect revenues in. I helped in the raping of half a dozen Central American republics for the benefit of Wall Street. I helped purify Nicaragua for the International Banking House Brothers in 1902 to 1912. I brought light to the Dominican Republic for American sugar interest in 1916. I helped make Honduras right for the American fruit companies in 1903, and in China in 1927, I helped to see that Standard Oil went on its way unmolested. Looking back on it, I might have given Al Capone a few hints. The best he could do was operate his racket in 3 districts. I operated on 3 continents."
Damn.
If there's anybody who's a muscle man on this call, it's me.
That's right, Jesse.
In the Baja.
I was there before he got to Honduras. I've been here for ages.
These are the quotations that will send the Chomsky enthusiast scurrying into the racks of the university library. Meanwhile, at the Library of the Marine Corps at Quantico, Butler's anti-war writings are isolated from his memoirs and other texts about him, in a separate bookshelf for radical thought that includes the works of Marx. So if you missed your youthful window for Butlerania, either by not being a member of the Marine Corps or by not devoting a shelf in your dorm room to the collected works of Chomsky, fear not, dear listener. The Disinformed podcast is here to help.
Butlerania?
Yeah, but you don't like it? I thought, Beatlemania, come on. You're not,
that's the reference.
Oh, I was thinking it was more like WrestleMania. You know a lot about that. I did color commentary for most of them.
Yeah, see, I just, that little,
it's a trademark infringement with your Butler mania over there. Vince McMahon will come after you, I know. I've been involved in lawsuits.
Well, that's why we gotta unionize, Jesse.
I agree.
So, all
you
right.
gotta manifest the reality you want to take part in. You tell me how this happens.
I'm gonna tell you how it happened for Smedley here. So, Major General Smedley Butler was born in July 1881. His father, Thomas, who I referenced earlier, was a lawyer, a judge, and later served in the House of Representatives for 31 years, serving as chairman of the House Naval Affairs Committee during the Harding and Coolidge administrations, while his mother, Maud Thompson, came from a wealthy family. The family's military background, with ancestors who served in the American Revolutionary War, influenced young Smedley's path.
Maud,
yeah.
Thompson? I thought her last name was Darling. Oh, never mind. Yeah, no, I thought her last name was Darling.
No, her father's name was Smedley Darlington.
Oh, Jesus Christ, let's not do this again.
All right.
No lies detected so far. No,
okay, all right, fine.
Her cousin's sister's brother's aunt on their mother's side.
Who also served on the same Senate seat as the other 10 people
that
he's related to.
Well, the House of Representatives seat is important because, as I mentioned, he was chairman of the House Naval Affairs Committee, right? So he's in charge of like the budget and all that when his son is in the Marines, right, rising through the ranks. So that's why I took the time to point that out, because his dad's position was pretty key.
He was also appointed head naval gazer.
That's right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And how?
So Smedley's Marine Corps career successes occurred while his father held that politically influential congressional seat, controlling the Marine Corps manpower and budget. Butler attended the Westchester Friends Graded High School. followed by the Haverford School, which was a Quaker-affiliated secondary school popular with the high-class Philadelphia families. Yeah. There, he was captain of the school baseball team and quarterback of its football team. So quite the athlete as well.
What a nerd.
He had sex 37 times documented by his chaperones and the principal.
And only 10 of those behind the bleachers.
And he
the rest
hated hand jobs.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
Another cretin. Okay.
So
he wasn't a pitcher.
In the Spanish War fervor of 1898, and against the wishes of his father, he left school 38 days before his 17th birthday and lied about his age to receive a direct commission as a Marine second lieutenant.
Bullshit, it was 36 days.
No.
Oh.
So, in July of that year, he went to Guantanamo Bay, Cuba, arriving shortly after its invasion and its capture. So, essentially, his first outing as a Marine amounted to nothing. He returned home, and he was mustered out of service in February of 1899. However...
He was ketchuped out of service, actually.
Yes, that's right.
Thank you.
So, however, just a few short months later, he accepted a commission as a first lieutenant in the Marine Corps and was sent off to the Philippines. On garrison duty there, with little to do, Butler often turned to alcohol to relieve the boredom and was known for his antics. In fact, he once got insanely drunk and was temporarily relieved of command after being found with 4 naked women in his barracks.
I'm just going to flatly say that's ridiculous.
It was like 10.
He was not removed from duty for the naked ladies.
That's correct. So it could be correct. It's a lie. He was in fact, he did in fact get insanely drunk, and he was temporarily relieved of command.
Okay.
For, quote, unspecified incidents in his room. So
okay.
I just, interjected the 4 naked women. But yes, it could very well have been it could have been a harem in there because it is unspecified incidents. But, he did get drunk and he did get relieved of command because of doing some crazy shit in his room.
He also could have been a pig. No one would judge you.
Or multiple pigs. I'm picturing like a dorm room that he's living in. So like someone opens the door and it's just like wall-to-wall naked women.
Oh, so he knows all about making bacon.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pork chop as far as I'm concerned. But
he's all about that tenderloin. Okay, but it wasn't all drinking and debauchery for young Smedley. The Philippines is where he saw his first combat action when he led 300 Marines to take a town from a group of rebels. Afterwards, he rewarded himself by having a gigantic eagle, globe, and anchor tattooed across his torso that went from his throat all the way down to his waist. He is quoted as saying, "I selected an enormous Marine Corps emblem to be tattooed across my chest. It required several sittings, and it hurt me like the devil, but the finished product was worth the pain. I blazed triumphantly forth, a Marine from throat to waist. The emblem is still with me. Nothing on earth but skinning me will remove it." Although he may have spoken too soon because during the Boxer Rebellion, he got shot and the South American portion of the tattoo was lost.
No. Really? Is that true? You got the South American part taken off? Yes.
That's true, my friend.
The South American part getting shot off.
Nope.
Right. Yeah.
Nope, that is true.
Well,
do you have anything you want to call, Shane?
Oh,
I see the look of incredulity.
Mostly the size of the tattoo for something as insignificant as doing a single run seems a little bizarre to me.
Killed some rebels. Time to get a whole chest tattoo.
Well, that eagle, globe, and anchor bit is like the classic Marine emblem, right? So he just got this massive thing from throat to waist.
What is he, fucking Brock Sampson? He does the one invasion and all of a sudden it's like, I gotta have this old chest covered.
Yeah, well, he did, and the quote I gave, accurate. So
okay, all right.
Funny enough, actually, the South American portion of the tattoo, which was obliterated when he got shot, it actually got infected and gave off like a powerful stench, which earned old Gimlet Eye another nickname in his long list of nicknames, Smelly Butler. Though I don't think too many who used it were brave enough to say it to his face.
I don't know if that's true. That doesn't sound like. The Smelly Butler doesn't sound like a true nickname at all.
That's true. That's correct. You're right. It's a lie.
Yeah.
I think Smelly Smedley would have been a little more entertaining at the very least, but
Yeah, I had hoped to sneak that lie by just because I figured you guys would call lies on the tattoo. And since the tattoo was true, and, I figured you might even interject earlier in the list of weird nicknames, which you also did. So yes. I thought, we've already shot down the nicknames as true. The tattoo seems like a lie, but it was true. So I thought Smedly, Smelly, like maybe we could just sneak that in there.
Okay.
But you guys are too good for me here.
A for effort.
It's mostly Jesse today for me, admittedly.
So next, he went off to China to fight in the Boxer Rebellion, where his bravery earned him...
I'm a wrestler. I wasn't allowed in a Boxer Rebellion. They wouldn't have us.
That's right, only the Wrestler Rebellion.
I tried to enroll 5 times. They kept kicking me back, but I can punch.
So his bravery in the Boxer Rebellion earned him a promotion to captain. He quickly proved his mettle, earning a reputation for bravery and skill. After that, he was off to Central America, where he fought in U.S. wars that were simply to further corporate interest, such as the Banana Wars. This frustrated Butler.
Admittedly, I am not as much as embedded in history. But yes, the Banana Wars, to me, just sounds like a really racy film that no one should bananas, see man. From 1972.
I'd watch the Banana Wars. Yeah. It'd be very, there'd be some good sax music in there.
I feel like the Boxer Rebellion leading into the Banana Wars is just everybody gave up their underwear. They got sick of having the tangles, and so it's like...
take off the boxers, and all you got left is the banana.
Yeah, exactly, we're free balling.
He was a commando, so...
Maybe his nickname was Smelly Butler. I mean, you take off the boxers and you got the banana hanging there. It's early 1900s. I don't know what his cleanliness routine was.
The banana hammocks.
It's a fine point. Now we're going to move on to the Melon Rebellion, and the ladies will start kicking the bras off in the 60s. And
so now we're off to, after his initial Honduran campaign. So we've left Honduras, we left the Philippines and whatnot.
I never want to leave Honduras. Can we stay?
Of course not. Oh, no. Okay. Well, it's pretty dangerous.
I mean, I've had El Salvadorian food as well, which is also delightful. So
give me some pupusas.
I mean, you had to go for pupusas straight off the run, but okay.
Oh, of course. That's the first thing. The first and last thing. Start and end with them.
I like to put my bananas into pupusas.
I got some tamales wrapped in banana leaves right now. They got their own little banana hammock in the fridge.
Yes, you do. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So after his initial Honduran campaign, Butler returned to Philadelphia, where he was married. However, he was soon sent off again, this time to the Philippines again. It didn't go well. Smedley had a nervous breakdown, and he was sent back home for 9 months to get it together.
Oh, now he had a nervous breakdown. Not when he got a full fucking torso tattoo. It's now he's lost it.
That's right.
What did he do to deserve? What happened? What caused it? You can't just say
to deserve a bit nervous breakdown.
Yes, that's fair. Not the correct way to word that question.
Gotcha.
Yes, you are right. What had occurred to him that
thank you
led to this nervous breakdown? Because he was fighting boxers.
Someone
he was
called
tattoos.
him sis.
That's right.
Oh, that's true. He got massively triggered.
He was such a trigger. Yeah, I mean, this kind of thing wouldn't have happened now. And thank God for Elon Musk.
Indeed.
God, I can't even go with that bit. I'm sorry. But in actuality, do you know what happened that caused this nervous breakdown?
We don't know what happened. We just know that he had a nervous breakdown. Things didn't go well, and he was kicked back stateside to recover for 9 months. My guess would be...
How did it go? How did it not go well?
Well, here's the thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That didn't go well because he had the nervous breakdown. Things were relatively well. What I would guess, what I would hazard would be he had come back, he'd gotten married, and then he was sent off again, right? So I'm guessing it was probably just like homesickness, maybe, and you got married, and now suddenly you're getting shipped off again.
I was just saying, after the Banana War, he probably got his banana trapped in something, got a little mangled, and then just didn't recover psychologically from that.
Well,
that's fair. I wouldn't have.
Easy to do when you're Wango Tango.
And you got to keep in mind that, he's starting to get some of the sentiment of, I'm just being sent around to, push corporate interest, right? Mm. When he first signed up for this to go fight in the Spanish-American War, it was, under, noble pretenses, right? These Spanish tyrants these Spanish tyrants are suppressing the Cubans and killing them. We're going to go down there and we're going to kick some ass and free spread democracy, right? And then you quickly
and then
learn,
we
like,
become the new colonizers.
yeah, and then you quickly learn, like, oh, I'm just here to like push business interest, and so I think that could be a part of it as well.
You're under new management.
So during his 9 months back home, he managed a coal mine in West Virginia, but he did return to active duty at the first opportunity, and he was sent off to Nicaragua, where, with a 104-degree fever, he led his battalion to save the city of Granada from a group of rebels. So the guy's got 104-degree fever, and he's still leading his men there, and fighting the rebels. So that's pretty cool.
That seems a little far-fetched.
A little
Are you calling
suspect.
Yes, I would say that he would not be charging out with something that requires hospitalization.
Well, then you, my friend, are not as much of a badass as Smedley was, because with a 104-degree fever, he's out there kicking ass and taking names.
So he is Brock Sampson. That's how I'm depicting him in my head from this point forward.
Listen, he went to Nicaragua to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
To chew ass.
To kick ass and chew bubblegum, yeah.
To chew bubblegum and eat ass, and he's all out of bubblegum.
Listen, I knew Roddy Piper. You don't have the right to say that quote. Roddy Piper was one of my favorite people, and he and I, we used to boar hunt down here. It was 1964. We just saw the Rolling Stones live for the first time. We went hunting boars for 4 days, killed them with our bare hands. They wouldn't let me in the Boxer Rebellion. It's ridiculous.
Nice. I like how you tied it in.
Thank you.
So, as previously mentioned, Butler frequently found himself dealing with financial and corporate interests that were lobbying the U.S. government for action. He resented it. Butler's letters home in the 1910s contain the beginnings of the anti-imperialist sentiments he would famously express in the 1930s. In Nicaragua, where Marine intervention helped put in place a conservative government that would accept U.S. financial management, he wrote, quote, "What makes me mad is that the whole revolution is inspired and financed by Americans who have wildcat investments down here and want to make them good by putting in a government which will declare a monopoly in their favor. The whole business is rotten to the core," end quote. So I think that kind of ties into the nervous breakdown bit there, right? When he's starting to have like these thoughts of just like this whole thing is bullshit.
I.e. every American interest ever. We depose anyone that we don't like. We throw people in we hope are favorable to us. It's kind of the American MO.
Well, and this is why I wanted to talk about Smedley, because like when you listen to just some of his quotes, they ring so true, 120 years later, right? That, that it's like, it's still the case.
He was also like he was at the forefront of our sudden imperial, like we had just finished conquering sea to sea, the manifest destiny, and then we were like, well, now what? And then beyond the sea there were more lands, and we were like, you know what, let's do this thing. So he was at the forefront of a lot of that sort of interaction between South America and our colonial interest in the Philippines.
And he was
times.
America's most badass Marine. So when you have your like literally the best Marine, like everybody always talks about how kick-ass the Marines are in general, and then you have the top of the cream of the crop saying these things. It really highlights kind of the BS behind it all.
See, you say that, but I think John Cena is the best Marine.
You couldn't even see him.
I can see him, yeah, exactly.
Well, he's in that movie, The Marine. I've never seen Smedley Schmucker in a movie called The Marine.
True.
You show me how you get the role of the Marine if you're not the best Marine.
He definitely has got you there.
Check and
what movie has Smedley Butler been in? Exactly.
Tattoo removal boys.
Actually, we'll discuss that in part 3.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess I'll shut my mouth then, by all means.
So he remained in Nicaragua until November 1912, when he and his family, he had 3 children by this point, were sent off to Panama. One of the
Panama.
You already had me. I was like, I'm not singing on this episode because after your last comment, I was like, beyond the sea, they're waiting for pillaging. But no, now you're singing frickin' Van Halen, so I guess we're just gonna bite the bullet on that one. I act like I'm angry at you for being disruptive. I'm over here Jesse Venturing the whole goddamn episode.
You know what? I'm going to give well, actually, never mind. Just little too much info, even for me. But Panama is always funny whenever I see that because my mother, for whatever reason, she was in the military when she had me. And for whatever reason, she knows both the date that I was conceived and she celebrates. She calls it DOC date, DOC, date of conception. So every year she sends me...
that gives your nickname way different context. I don't know how to react to this information.
I like it better now, personally.
Yeah.
Doc.
So my mom...
Mr. Date of conception over here, yes.
Yeah, my mom every year since I was a kid has always said, like, happy Doc Day. And yeah.
Man, now it's space docking all over.
And I've talked to my mom too about like that. I'm like, why do I want to celebrate the day I was conceived? All that is to me is you got laid that day. Like, what do I care about?
She had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and,
enough to where she remembers it and celebrates it to this day. I would say good for her that she remembers that lay so well that she celebrates it.
And the reason why I bring it up is because that lay took place in Panama. So I was conceived in Panama. So that's why I bring it up. Because whenever I see Panama, it pops into my head. I'm like, oh, damn it. Like, why do I know these things?
I was conceived there.
Yeah.
Was Panama on the radio while you were being conceived? That's the question.
I feel like it had to be.
I'll ask
next Thanksgiving. Yes.
Next Thanksgiving, I'll be like, Mom, pass the turkey. By the way, what was playing on the radio when Dad was dicking you down?
Please use those exact question. Words. Yes.
And ask it as Jesse Ventura.
School's out. Oh,
hot for teacher.
Is it my body? Also, an Alice Cooper
it would
song.
be better or more appropriate to steal from the Van Halen catalog a little more, but say Eruption was probably what was playing, but.
Jump. I don't know. That was the first thing that popped in my head.
It's the only fucking Van Halen song you know. Yes, I got it.
I said Panama.
All right, so... Oh, dear. All right,
though, to be fair, I forgot it was Van Halen, so that doesn't count.
Oh, Jesus.
One of the defining moments of Butler's career came in 1914 during the U.S. occupation of Veracruz, Mexico. He was given a spy assignment where he was to develop an invasion plan to invade Mexico. He made his way to the U.S. consulate in Mexico City, posing as a railroad official named Mr. Johnson. He and the chief railroad inspector...
No, the name was not Mr. Johnson.
Yes, his name was Mr. Johnson. So he went on a spy mission playing a railroad official named Mr. Johnson.
Hi, I'm here to railroad you. I'm Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, and so he and the chief railroad inspector, scoured the city saying they were searching for a lost railroad employee. But of course, there was no railroad employee that was lost. In fact, the employee that they named didn't even exist. But the ruse gave Butler access to various areas of the city. So in the process of the so-called search, they located weapons in use by the Mexican army and determined the size of units and states of readiness. So Butler was in charge of
Mr. Johnson's looking at the unit size. Oh, go figure.
Yeah, I love it because
ready they are.
Yeah, you're sending in this badass Marine to play in this. Hello, I'm Mr. Johnson. I'm a railroad inspector here. I'm looking for a lost employee.
He's all ripped, 7 feet tall, just hulking it out. Every time he puts on a shirt, it just tears.
And
I'm
also
a railroad inspector.
Completely covered from fucking neck to, stint with tattoo.
That just says Marines in bold underline Comic Sans.
Well,
he's inconspicuous.
But
definitely.
See, they wouldn't know because the South American portion has been blown away.
Oh, that's fair. They're like, oh, okay, he's from the North, North America. He's fine.
I can't see Chile on his map.
Must be legit. Okay.
Yeah, so he was in charge of updating the maps and verifying that the railroad lines for use were set up for the impending U.S. invasion.
He's all drawing it on his chest as he's walking down, like just filling in the gaps left by the bullet wound.
Yeah, I love this story because you can just like picture it, right? Like, you know, like it must. No wonder it was like a defining moment for him and super exciting, because it must have been kind of fun to go down there and play this character and go around and like, you know, jot down the railroad lines and ammunitions are stored here and set everything up for like the U.S. invasion. It must have been very interesting to do. A lot more fun than just being in like, you know, trenches and fighting wars and stuff, right?
You're just killing people and shit.
Yeah. So unfortunately for Smedley, though, the invasion plan was eventually scrapped when the U.S. decided just to capture the electric and water utilities there instead of all of Mexico.
So they decided to play the Monopoly game.
Aha!
We're taking over your utilities.
Well, why capture the entire area if you can just like knock out their power grids and whatnot, right?
Well, they should have at least gotten the railroads as well, you know, and then you get a better chance of getting more money.
Well, they did send him down there as a railroad inspector, that's true.
Exactly. They should have gotten him.
Yeah, I mean,
or at least Boardwalk. You could have built some hotels there.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got to have at least Boardwalk or Park Place.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you're losing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, as
Marvin's Gardens for me, personally. But
okay. Yeah, I see it. I always love to own the little corner there. Like, you know, so either you got, you know, Boardwalk or Park Place, or you rounded and you just immediately got hit as well. So it was just always a bust when you got your $200 and immediately had to give me like 60 of it.
Good time. Oh, that's a good guy.
Yeah. So as a major, he led a force that successfully captured the city of Veracruz, showcasing his strategic brilliance and fearlessness. For his exemplary leadership and heroism, Butler was awarded the Medal of Honor, the highest military honor in the United States. However, Butler returned his medal, arguing that he had not done enough to deserve it.
Yeah.
But
he successfully invades and like stifles rebellion in how many states and like countries at this point? Like and like just formulating a railroad inspector plan to invade the city of Veracruz, and that's what he gets the medal for. And he's like, yeah, you know what? No, I didn't deserve that. Maybe the other campaigns where I brutally repressed a lot of natives, sure, but
I mean, it's kind of funny though, because it's like that's literally the highest honor we can give, and he's like, "Nah, I'm good."
Not good enough.
I have to call that out as a lie. Just, you know, for the course of we've spent enough time talking about it. Did he really reject the medal?
He did really reject the medal.
Okay.
However,
did he really have a child just run down the stairs behind him?
Yes, I did. Okay, it was her dinner time. All right, but that's neither here nor there. The more important thing is, did he actually get it for the invasion of Veracruz?
He did, yes. So he did, and he did reject it. However, it was sent back to Butler with orders that he would not only keep it, but he would wear the damn thing as well.
Oh, shit.
So he kept it. So moving forward a little bit here into 1915, the Haitian president was killed by a mob, right? So in response, the United States ordered the USS Connecticut to Haiti with Major Butler and a group of Marines on board. Right, so he's back off, like, so the Veracruz thing is done. Now we're off to Haiti. We got, presidents killed there, so let's go suppress the rebellion. So in October of 1915, an estimated 400 rebel Haitians ambushed Butler's patrol of 44 mounted Marines when they approached Fort Deputy.
I don't like those odds.
Yeah.
And not for the Marines.
Yeah, surrounded by the rebels.
Smedley Butler probably took out like 300 of them on his own. Well, he Master Chief them.
Did you say Fort Dippity Doo?
No, Fort Dippity, but not do. But yes, Dippity.
Fort Dippity.
Yes.
But not Dippity Doo.
Welcome to Fort Wackety Schmackety. Hello.
Yeah.
Zoinks.
So the 400 rebel Haitians are surrounding his 44 mounted Marines, right? So they're surrounded by the rebels. It's nearly 10-1 in odds, but the Marines maintained their perimeter throughout the night. The next morning, they charged, led by Smedley, they charged the much larger enemy force and basically kicked the shit out of them.
Wait, they were mounted?
Yes, the Marines.
Oh, you said mounted. Yes.
Oh, that changes a lot of things.
It's
like I thought you were talking about like
44.
300.
Here's the thing.
But they're on horses. And it's
I was
probably some mob with maybe like sticks and stones or something like that.
I was confused. I was like, how did they even get themselves down from the wall enough to charge at these people? Strange.
Don't charge until you see the whites of their eyes.
Yes, they were mounted, Michael. But it's still like 10 to 1 odds. So I don't know. You're like, that's easy then. Shit, don't even worry about it.
Well, I mean, unless they were they all killed or were they routed? Because like, no matter how many people you got, if you have a bunch of like well-armed people on horseback charging at you and you're armed with what, a stick or something, like maybe some of them might have some arms that they like procured, sure. But like,
I feel
it's
like
not
that's like low-key racist because you're like, a bunch of like Haitians. Like, what do they got?
They're
sticks?
rebels. They're not like a standing force. Like, yeah, they might have some
they go
arms,
after them and attack them with their tortillas.
Yeah, I was going to say, it would be racist if he's like, did they throw bananas at him?
Yeah, exactly. You are the one that is projecting, sir. I understand that, like, if they're rebelling, it's not like they're a standing force. It's not like they have, armor, bullets. They might not have that, and if they do, it's gonna be in limited quantity, and probably quality as well. So it's not like all 400 are gonna be loaded with M16s and like, several magazines worth of ammo. They probably have.
I mean, they were good enough to take down the Haitian government.
With enough mob rule, yes, if you have thousands of people charging a presidential palace that might have a couple of people that are probably on the same side as the mob.
You're not really doing well to defend yourself against not being racist now. But
all right,
what kind of government do they have in Haiti? They probably have to vote with tortillas.
What are they, counting beans? Is that how they like submit their ballots?
They do have bean counters. I mean, but that's different.
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying that at all. Who knows how the coup occurred? It was a mob.
The Ku Klux Klan. That's how it occurred.
It's not what I'm saying. But all right, fine. I guess I'm the racist.
I love the Haitian people. I do.
I might as well just use the C word. I am a cis, so let's just keep on going.
Cis white Haitian over here.
I'll even use the hard R, cisgender. Let's go.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm throwing it out there. You know what? Just bearing it all for everyone to see.
You're a rebel, Michael. Don't let them tell you any different.
Armed with my probably not sticks and probably a little bit better
and tortillas
equipment.
Hot off the griddle.
I did not ever say tortillas. Let it be let the record state I never said tortillas.
I think they had both corn and flour.
You mean maize.
Here's the thing. They fried the flour tortillas. They were throwing those in
and they
chip
sharpen
form.
Those.
Yeah, they put somebody's eye out.
Sticks of churros there and you'd cinnamon and sugar in their eye.
What's this, Disneyland?
I killed somebody in Cuba with a churro one time. Yeah, it's easy to do.
Yeah, from diabetes.
That cinnamon, it'll choke you. It'll choke you real fast. George W., he almost died that way too, eating a chip.
You've ever heard of the cinnamon challenge? Yeah, it's not something to mess around with.
Yeah, you don't fuck around with cinnamon.
So
anyway,
so
tell me about the obviously not even match between 400 people and
it was so
mounted armed
44
Marines.
against 400, super easy. Somehow, though, the rebels still lost, even though there was only 400 of them.
Rebel scum.
Yeah. So after this, Butler commanded the Marines in essentially capturing all of the forts held by the rebels. The last one being taken via hand-to-hand combat that lasted for 20 minutes. So you got Butler out there, 104-degree fever, hand-to-hand combat taking forts, kicking ass.
Whoa. He didn't have 100-degree fever at this
he still
occasion.
Had a fever. Yeah,
unless he kept getting sick, because in that case, he's been sick for
the
several years.
The feverish thing.
And now I'm just confused. Also, did they take all the forts with the 44 people? And that was it?
Yes, Butler commanded the Marines in taking the rest of the forts from the rebels. I don't know if he might have picked up more forces after that. I'm not entirely sure if it was just those 44. But
just all right, Steve, you're holding down the last fort. We're going to take the other 40 and keep moving.
Yeah, he might have had reinforcements at that point. But I do know that the last one there was just taking hand-to-hand combat, and Butler's in there just fighting hand-to-hand against the rebels and taking the fort.
Michael, obviously you've never seen my famous film Predator, because we went in there with only 7 Marines, and we were able to take down an entire cartel.
That's right. See, thank you, Jesse. I'm glad you got.
I'm getting close to Patrick Warburton now. I have to back it up. I'm riding a line now. It's desperate, but
I can hear it. I think you'll pull through. You'll pull through.
I'm working on it.
You're still heavy on the Jesse to me.
Oh, good.
But so reportedly in that final taking there.
Ignore the person running behind me, okay? It's not the best recording arrangement.
No, Michael, have you ever seen the original Grudge, the Japanese Ju-on?
Ju-on? I tried watching it, but I got so disgusted by the cat that was mutilated at the beginning that I couldn't finish it.
I understand. So there's part of the joy of the horror genre there is that they just have a little kid who's basically painted blue who just runs through the background of scenes.
Just
so
like
every time this
sitting
happens,
in
I'm
the
like,
upper stairs and stuff like that. Yeah, that's fair.
Yes. So every time I see her float through them, I was like,
yeah, I half expect her to come crawling like across the ceiling there briefly.
No, she's not that demonic. Not yet.
So, in that final battle there, where it was hand-to-hand, reportedly only one Marine was injured in that assault. And he was injured when he was struck by a rock and he lost 2 of his teeth. So, one Marine got hurt, but 50 Haitians in that final one in the hand-to-hand combat there, 50 Haitians were killed. Butler was certainly a badass, fighting hand-to-hand with the fever and kicking ass. The guy was practically Rambo.
He took them all on himself. He was standing at this like bridge over, and he's like, "I will hold them." I forgot the name of this guy, but it was like some English dude from like the medieval era that like held off one person. I think it was like the 1066. Or we can do Roland's Song, from other medieval era. He was just like, "I will hold this one spot." And he just like started socking the shit out of anyone that moved. I assume that's why the Marine
pass.
Yeah, exactly. I presume that's why the Marine got hit, because he was just in the way of Smedly Butler's flying fists of fury.
Smedly butt hair. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
So Butler's exploits impressed the Assistant Secretary of the Navy, one Franklin D. Roosevelt, who recommended he receive a second Medal of Honor based on Butler's performance during the engagement. His efforts to establish stability and implement reform earned him widespread acclaim. The Haitian government even recognized his contributions, awarding him the Order of the Black Star, the country's highest honor. And, with Smedley, now the proud owner of not one, but 2 Medal of Honors, we shall leave him and the U.S. on the brink of global war and return to Butlerania on the next installment of the Disinformed podcast.
I'm calling bullshit. He was not the proud owner of 2 medals.
Okay, well, he was the owner of, I don't know if he was proud, but that's not a lie, but it could be a lie, I guess.
Oh, yeah, because you made a point of saying he kicked the other one back. He's like, this is true. The Kmart medal.
This is true. I embellished there, so, but true, it was some artistic freedom.
Was he happy to accept the second one?
He did accept the second one without issue.
Okay, well, so all it requires is a fever hand-to-hand combat and dispatching people against astronomical numbers.
Well, I feel like at that time you're like, all right, I think I heard this one.
Yeah. Gold star for me, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Black Star for
Good
me,
job.
in fact, yes.
That's right, Order of the Black Star, that's right.
He's not
he can't
patting
tap his
back.
shoulders too hard because he'll probably shatter them.
No,
with his hand strength.
Clapping his chest like he's a frickin' Samoan, just...
and that's how he removed... Asia from his tattoos.
Nice. Okay, so that takes me to the end of part 1, which I feel like, we talked about.
You timed out perfectly. You
Perfect.
did. Absolutely.
Yeah,
I will give you praise where it is due, and it is due there.
You get a Medal of Honor.
I can't accept it.
Well, too bad. You're taking it
Yeah,
anyway.
you're going to wear the damn thing. So, of the 4 lies, let's see. The first one there, we had the, he once became drunk, temporarily relieved of command.
No naked girls, yes.
That's right. You caught that one.
He relieved himself.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, Smelly Butler. You caught that one. So
Smelly Smedley, I'm going to say, is the title of the episode. So there you go.
Much better, much better.
So there were still 2 others. Do you want to hazard any other guesses?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, not to put too fine a point on it after 2 minutes of silence, but sure.
Okay, well, this one, Shane, I thought you were going to get because you stopped to chat about it. You even made the joke that I was referencing. So,
and he would have gotten except for XYZ.
That's right.
Damn it.
So
it's not how I play this game.
So the invasion plan for Mexico was, in fact, eventually scrapped but only when the U.S. decided to invade Veracruz instead of all of Mexico. Whereas I said when the U.S. decided to capture the electric and water utility companies instead of all of Mexico.
Oh.
So I was referencing monopoly. You stopped to mention monopoly. And,
Okay. So I was just in on the joke is what you're saying.
That was good.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
I thought, because I misheard that as you just caught those utilities within Veracruz and that was it. So I had misinterpreted what you said.
Oh,
And you
here we
would've
go.
got
But
it.
no. I wouldn't have gotten
If
it.
it
It was a
weren't
good
for
lie.
those meddling kids.
I didn't get it, and I wouldn't have. That was a good lie. 10 out of 10. Would lie again.
Totally
I
thought Shane
will
was going to
say,
get it because he stopped
allow
and he
me.
made the
I was
joke.
going to say, allow me to dock for a second. I feel like I was sniffing around right there, and if I had only really just had a moment to think about it,
See,
and not
you
been
say
making a
allow me to
joke.
dock, but I was docking for you because I was like, he was sniffing right there. And I thought he was going to get it.
We're space
We
docking.
can't use
Yeah.
that phrase now that we know what it stands for. I was docking over there. No, please don't.
Michael, do you know about docking as the sexual term?
Yes, I know, but I'm still
Okay.
thinking of the previous one.
I like that wasn't sufficient to disgust you, and yet, like, the fact that his mother had consensual sex and conceived a child, that's what is pushing you over the edge of discomfort.
Yeah, that's too far. That's way too far.
Okay,
It's
well,
more
the-
information than I needed as well, to be honest.
So-
Especially to be
Yeah?
reminded of every time that
Literally
day
every
comes
year.
around.
Yeah, it's like,
that's why you are the daddy who's not my daddy.
You're right.
And also,
that is true.
you're not the mama.
that's right. Nice. So as for the last lie, it was at the tail end, and actually, Shane, again, you referenced it briefly. So the lie itself was the Haitian government recognized his contributions by awarding him the Order of the Black Star, the country's highest honor. So,
Why would the Haitians give him an award?
well, so this lie is interesting because
Oh.
I had already set up my script, but in light of our most recent episodes here, I decided to pop over to ChatGPT and see what it would
right.
say, right? So this lie was interesting because it was generated by ChatGPT. The script is mine, but this lie is the only bit here that I included from ChatGPT because I asked it to tell me everything it knew about Smedly Butler, and it listed this as a fact during the paper it provided me. However, I knew this was false since I'd already done the research for this episode. True, he was awarded the Order of the Black Star, but it's a French order and was given to him for his actions tackling sanitation issues in France during World War I, not a Haitian order as a result of this whole thing. So it was interesting because it's like he did get the Order of the Black Star, so ChatGPT was kind of right there, but they assigned it to a different country for a different act. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's fascinating. So I grabbed the little lie there and I just tossed it on at the end.
Now, the Order of the Black Star isn't something that you're given at like a year-end awards for BET, right?
Well, I was gonna ask, was it actually Black Star, like instead of Brown Star, because it was sanitation and everything like that?
Racist.
And also,
World Star.
shit joke. So there you go. Gotta keep that stereotype going for you.
I see what you're doing. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, the Brown Mile. Just keep that Brown Mile going. He was just trying to prevent it. Redemption arc.
But yeah, anyways, I included that because I thought it was interesting when I just briefly asked it, like, tell me everything. And I was like, oh, that's not true. I was like,
I'm
let's go ahead and
about to
include it.
get on the verge of saying we are not allowed to bring ChatGPT into this bloody show anymore. If you can't use it for academic papers, you can't use it on the Disinformed podcast.
Well, but I was using it for the lie. I'm actually... This is disgusting. And actually, this would have been a perfectly like a good lie to include in itself. I'm just letting you in a little bit of behind the curtain, a little peek behind the scenes there.
I'll give you a peek behind the curtain. Ever since you started talking about people dying to the dulcet tones of Celine Dion, I've been thinking of Fred Durst doing an impression of, every night in my dreams. I see you. I feel you. So tomorrow will go on. Yeah, that's all I've been doing in my head now for a good 40 minutes. So thank you for that. All ChatGPT's fault.
Yeah, well, I was
feel
just
that.
trying to do a little nice tie-in there to Michael's episodes there, utilizing some of that. And I liked the lie. It worked well.
Yeah, I'd like to tie a noose around my neck right now just to tie into Michael's episodes, but
But well done, gents. You got
Not
two of
wrong.
the four. Two of the four. Well done.
Well, thank you. It could have been worse.
Yeah, so hopefully that wasn't terribly...
No, that was well done. Thank
Perfectly bite-sized.
Excellent. Excellent.
you. You hit that button again. I'm going to find where you sleep.
I know I hit it, and then I was like, I shouldn't have done it. And I looked over, and I was like, nobody said anything. Maybe they didn't catch it. Maybe, crap, he caught it.
Speaking of
Unlike
which, though...
the like button, which you can smash.
Oh, God. I will say I was hoisted on my own petard, though, because it was my antagonistic pressing of the mute button that disconnected my cable, apparently.
No.
That was the only jolt that it needed, and then it was the reverberations throughout for the rest of the episode. So, yeah, that's what I get.
Karma.
Yeah, gets me every time. It's been the day for it, so we might as well just dogpile down that we're done at the end of the day. So, well done. Well done. Much appreciated.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, gents. It was about time I circled, took another step at bat here.
Indeed.
So, and last time, I'm just going to crank out a few episodes and then call it a day.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm going to call it a week. Yes. Well, we hope that you all listening out there enjoyed the show as much as we did. And if you did, of course, like, subscribe, rate, and review. We would love to hear from you. If you have not already, what's going on? Do we need to have a conversation?
Also,
Let's chat.
Feel free to get a Disinformed podcast logo tattooed across your chest from throat to waist.
I don't know if I can condone that.
Smedley would do it in Smedley's honor.
I mean, I can't have my own face on my own chest. I feel like that might be a bit much.
No, I was talking to the listener.
No, you know what? I like where Doc is going now. If you lead a group of Marines to stifle a rebellion inside the Philippines, I feel like you should reward yourself by tattooing one of our logos on your chest in commemoration of that victory. That is fine. Yes.
But only if you're not mounted, because if you're mounted, does it even count?
Yeah, you're just kicking a dead dog at that point. Beating a dead horse, if you will. So,
well,
that's true.
I would say
I
that
hope
the
horse
Polish
isn't
cavalry...
Dead. They're mounted on it.
Mount the dead horse?
The Polish cavalry.
Wing Hussar me,
Yes.
Shane.
Yes, the Polish cavalry in the 30s might disagree with you about it being foregone being mounted, but
I like being mounted.
I
heard that.
As long as it isn't a hand job,
Fucking
it's
Smedley
okay.
Schmucker over here.
Oh, jeez.
Cinnamon butt. But all right, I'm done with you. Somebody else do the outro. I'm sick of this shit.
Well, you pretty much said everything that there is to say.
I
we
did not.
got some things down in the show notes, and click the links, and
there's no links.
Tune in next week for the exciting midway installment of the continuing saga of Smedly Butler, and you too can feel Butlerania.
Butler Media's running wild. Oh,
That's
yeah.
Right. The cream rises to the top.
Jabroni.
I hope it did. Okay. I realize why I'm the one who does the impressions on this show.
That's right,
I'll say
exactly.
that. Okay,
And
well,
me.
of course, as you all know, as Michael attempted to haphazardly, there is a link, single, in the show notes there that will take you to all of our relevant socials and other material. Of course, new episodes of the podcast winging your way every lovely Monday morning, so you can get those without any delay if you're subscribed. So I don't know why you wouldn't. It just saves you time. Otherwise, you gotta track this thing down. That's no fun for anybody. And, of course, every Fantastic Friday, there's even more winging your way on the tubes of you. You can find us there. There's a slew of material for you to pilfer through in case you were unaware. And we keep it entertaining for the most part. It's going to be a Jesse Ventura only episode this week. I'm just going to monologue for 20 minutes.
Ooh.
Good times
Sold.
for all involved. Yes, indeed. And Seoul, Korea. That's where I was stationed for 4 months while I was a Navy SEAL. All right, so I think that's going to wrap this bloody episode up. And so for all of us here at the Disinformed podcast, to all of you out there, big love, and we hope you all join us, and we hope that you had a Baja Blast. So for the Disinformed podcast this week, I'm Shane.
I'm Doc.
And I'm Michael. And zippity zoop, we're out of here.